What's going on, everyone? It's Mike here, Skimmer Barbecue. Today we're going to be doing a test. We're going to see if dry brining a steak with just some fleur de sel or sea salt really makes a difference to your steaks. We're firing up the Kamado Joe Jr. and the Classic 3. There is a space here. Two of my barbecues are still at a friend's house from when I did a barbecue for his birthday. But we're going to be firing up the Junior with some hassleback potato, and then we've got the Classic 3 ready for that steak. So let me show you what we're working with. So I don't know if you can see the difference. So we've had the steak, which has been unseasoned in the fridge overnight, next to the one we seasoned with the fleur de sel salt. And all we're going to do now is just give this a bit of a seasoning with some salt. This is about 15 minutes before we're going to put these on. These are nice and thick from Meat Matters. What we're going to do is we're going to do a reverse sear on these. We're not going to do with pepper just yet, but we're just going to go with the salt. We're going to do the Kamado Joe Big Block with a chunk of oak in there just to get a bit smoky. We're going to get these on till we're at about 110 internal, and then we're going to get them seared. So let me show you what we're doing with the house. So inside this pot here, we've got some olive oil. We've got some finely chopped garlic, some sage, some oregano. The smells on that is amazing as well. We've got a potato here. We're just going to slice the bottom of this off to make it flat. And then we're going to slice and make some ridges inside it. And what we're going to do, last kind of 10 minutes or so, we're going to finish it off with some cheese. And then we're going to finely chop thyme all over that as well. But we're going to be basting that potato all the way through. So a little side note, when I've done things like this before, I always get confused to which one's which. So I've just poked a little toothpick in the one that we've dry brined. So, question, why dry brine a steak? Well, I suppose the method of the madness is, or what everyone says is, it locks in the moisture and it tenderizes the meat a lot more as well. And so what you do is you use your sea salt or whatever. I've personally used the fleur de sel salt, and we did this. To be fair, it was quite early in the morning. I forgot to do it the night before. I wanted to do it about 8, 9 o'clock, but I actually came down about 3:30 in the morning after waking up going, I did not put the salt on the steaks. So I came downstairs, dry brined the steak, put them both on the rack in the fridge. It's now about 4:45. So they've been dry brining, well, this one's been dry brining for about 13 hours. So the only thing we've got to do now the grill's up to temperature, is get them on the grill, get an alcoholic beverage, pour it in the glass, and I suppose we will see you when we get these halfway through. Cheers. Time to get some chives and chives. We're just going to give this hassleback potato a little bit of sea crack Murray River salt. Just a little sprinkle. That'll do. So we've got this delicious looking hassleback potato, and then we've got, I'm going to see if you can see which one is which. For the dry brine, so let's cut into them. Isabella's getting excited in the background. perfectly cooked. Oh, Isabella wants some steak too. So just for the purpose of this, we're going to call that steak 1 and that steak 2. And let's go for the taste test. Okay, so let's get a quick look at steak 1 again. See if we can get this at the camera. It's perfectly cooked. Let's go for steak test. Hello, goodness. And let's go for steak 2. You know I'm going to have to eat both of these, right? So, could you guess, by the look of it, which one was the dry brine steak and which one was the normal, just salt it 10-15 minutes before we put it on the grill? Both steaks are cooked to absolute perfection. I would say that, of course. But steak 2 was the dry brine. And there is definite a note of kind of flavour. It's hard to explain. Steak 1 was a lot more saltier than steak 2. So definitely a lot more tender. Steak 2 has got a lot more juices coming out of it as well. Steak 2. All in all, I have to say, dry brining steak is definitely the way forward. Now, I want to get tucked into that hassleback potato. Got some cheese, got some chive. Gorgeous garlic flavour coming through on that. That Murray salt from Sea Crack has complemented it really well. So there we have it, guys. My personal favourite is dry briny steak for 24 hours. Mind you, that was about 12-13 hours. Before cooking it, it does make a difference. A much tender piece of meat. There is definitely that moisture retention in it as well. And personally, on a personal note, I prefer the flavour. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And thank you to everyone who's supported me so far. And now I'm going to go and be the absolute opposite of what Skinny Boy Barbecue is. Chunky.